You now are listening to the audio podcast of Prisoners of Hope, the antidote to what ails your heart. I'm your host, Dr. Debbora Whitson. So come on in, pull up a chair, and open up your mind as you get ready to receive the download that hope will bring. Well, hey, hey, hey. Welcome to the podcast. And it is an awesome day. The first part of this series entitled The Walk Around Self Reflection, we defined what self reflection was, and also we covered steps for daily self reflection. This was discussed in the first part. Today, we're going to address the possible pitfalls when distortions become prevalent, as well as strategies for overcoming said pitfalls. We're going to also look at some takeaways. So stay tuned, buckle your seatbelts. Let's get started. In the first part of this series, we learned that God encourages us to employ self reflection to help us stay on the path of life. So it makes sense that our enemy Satan will use distortions in self-reflection process to knock us off course. Of course he will. He hates us and he wants to kill us because God loves us. Distortions in self-reflection refer to inaccurate or biased perceptions of oneself, where a person misinterprets their own thoughts, their feelings, and even their experiences. Often, this leads to what you call a skewed self image, resulting in cognitive distortions like exaggerating negative things, negative aspects of a story, minimizing positive ones, are taking things way too personally. Essentially, you're not seeing yourself realistically in the mirror of self reflection. In psychology, these thought patterns are called cognitive distortion. And the word cognitive just means thinking distortions. These are mental processes that lead to distorted self perception. Some of the more common strategies in these cognitive distortion methods, the first one I want to cover is called all or none thinking. You've ever thought that? All or none thinking. It's black or white, viewing a situation as completely good or bad, and there's no middle ground. All or none thinking. The next common one I want to cover is overgeneralization. Do you overgeneralize? Is applying a single negative experience to all experiences. You had a bad experience here, so you're going to have a bad experience there. Generalizing, talk, Deborah. The next is catastrophizing, okay? And basically, that is assuming the worst possible outcome in every situation. It's everything is a catastrophe, you know? It's going to be bad. It's going to rain. The next one is called mental filtering. And mental filtering is focusing only on the negative aspects while ignoring any positive ones. You know, you might have somebody that said to you, "Oh, I think you're awesome and you have real good speech patterns and you look good, but have you thought about not standing as close when you interview somebody?" And when you think back about it, you just think about the negative the person said. You focus on nothing but the negative. That's called mental filtering, okay? The glass is half empty. okay? Not half full. The next method is called personalization. And in personalization, you take the blame for things that are outside your control. It's all your fault. You are taking the blame for things outside your control, okay? And the last common one I want to cover is called labeling. And labeling is defining oneself based on a single negative trait that someone has assigned to you that might be true or not. So you might be bossy and you define yourself as bossy and you don't look at the positive things like you're a take control type of person and you take on responsibilities, but you label yourself as bossy. So those are some common distortion, all or none thinking, overgeneralization, catastrophizing, personalization, mental filtering, and labeling. Those are some common cognitive distorted thinking methods. So Satan uses these distortions to get you off path. So let's talk about some strategies for overcoming these cognitive distortion. The first one I want to talk about is meditation. Meditate on the word, on your favorite Bible verses. I have a set of emergency verses when I get in trouble. So you establish your own. Meditate is one way that you can focus on what is true instead of the distortion that the enemy will have you focus on. The next strategy is mindfulness or thought reframing. Question your thoughts. What are you thinking about? Are they based on facts? Are you basing them on assumptions about the future? Replace negative or distorted, or distorted thought patterns with healthier ones, more realistic perspectives. Reframing, mindfulness. The next one is get help. Get help, reach out. Talk to someone you trust, a good friend or a professional, to get you grounding correctly, to get you grounding perspective. Reach out to get you an anchor to talk to you. Sometimes it helps just to talk it out, right? Talk it out, talk it out. The next strategy is to take care. Take care of your physical health through exercise, through diet and sleep. Take care. I forgot what prophet it was. I can't think right now. Come to me later. But he had dealt with um, predicting that it wouldn't rain, and this one queen who was evil, and her name escapes me too. Um, Gosh, I can't think of any names today, but she said, "I'm gonna kill you." So he ran to the hills and he said, "Oh, I'm the only one. I'm the only one that prophet that is left." And basically, God told him to go to sleep. And then an angel woke him up and told him to eat. So to eat and rest, get some sleep. So sometimes that will help you with your cognitive thinking. Because when you get tired, what's that Snickers ad? It's hangry. When you get hangry, you can't think straight. Okay, you cannot think straight. Oh, and I forgot to tell you when you talk about reframing your thoughts, you should count your blessings. Mindfulness. Think about what you're thinking about. Reframe your thoughts by counting your blessings. The next thing I'm going to talk about a experience that I use in class. I call it the spoon experience, and I'm going to use the spoon experience to get you to see what happens when you have distorted self reflection. What happens when your reflection is distorted? And I use this to drive it home. Like I like to use tactile memory, so you'll never forget this. So, in order to do this, this is a participative type of thing. You need to go to your silverware drawer and pick out a large spoon, preferably like a tablespoon, but it has to be aluminum spoon, one or silver, actually silver spoon, or something where you can see your reflection in. Okay, so you want to go to the silverware drawer and pick it out. I'll wait for you. Okay. So hopefully you got it. Okay. So take the spoon and hold the spoon up like you're going to have it toward your face, but I want the part where you put the item in that you're eating, um, the concave part, the spoon part, put it in front of your face. Okay. And when you look at your reflection, if you have a shiny spoon, you have to have a shiny spoon that you can see. And you look at your reflection, notice your reflection. What do you notice about your reflection in that spoon? If you're on YouTube, I have a picture of a spoon and you can see the reflection. I have a picture of a shiny silver spoon. And you can see the reflection is distorted. It's upside down and it's distorted. And I use this to introduce the last strategy for overcoming cognitive distortments. You have to reach out, get your eyes off yourself, because when your eyes are on yourself, it's like looking at reflection in the spoon, and your reflection is distorted and is upside down. You have to go out and help someone else. You could volunteer at your local church or at your church or some other church or at a homeless shelter, at a library. Um, Volunteered to help at the hospital or some other nonprofit organization. It is amazing how a lot of our distortions dissipate when we take our eyes off ourselves. So remember, when you're into yourself, you're all distorted. Take that spoon out. You're distorted and you're upside down. Now, if you turn the spoon around, give of yourself instead of, try to spoon other people out. Give of yourself. Turn that spoon around so the back part of the spoon is facing you. You notice when you give of your spoon, your reflection is not distorted and is right side up. So that's a little tactile example that you can use when you're trying to overcome cognitive distortions. My hope is that this journey has been fruitful and you're able to take it and apply it to your life. Until next time, tune in again for the Prisoners of Hope podcast. God bless.